If you've been craving a new JRPG to sink your time into, then Romancing SaGa 2 might be the JRPG you need to get your hands on. Today we're diving into a sneak peek of the gameplay and visuals that are sure to get you quite hyped for the full release, because oh my lord, I'm literally hooked in this demo and I need people to check this out right now. If you want to know if this is the next big thing in the genre, then stick around and catch the preview of what's to come. What's up, Chaotic fam? It's your host KSTTV here, and if you're new here, then this is your chill spot for all things RPG news, reviews, and as well as guides. And today we're diving into the world of Romancing SaGa 2, a 3D remake of the original Romancing 2 saga that was developed by Artist WubSauce and published by Square Enix. And let's just see if it's any good. Romancing SaGa 2 is looking to be one of my favorite JRPGs to come out this year, and we really got a stacked lineup of JRPGs that are already coming out this year. Between the different mechanics in the combat to the absolutely beautiful visuals of the game, first, let's talk about the combat. This game does have turn-based combat, but the combat is not just cut and dry or rinse and repeat type of turn-based. Romancing SaGa 2 changes some things up with a couple of mechanics like the technique point, which basically you get new techniques per weapon and spell. The game introduces the technique points, which are earned for only spells and weapons you use during combat, encouraging you to use a variety of different weapons. Each battle really does hone your technique, since enemies have weaknesses to the different types of attacks. And if you do come across a new enemy, then you will have to try out different attacks to see what they're weak to. During combat, you will notice light bulbs next to some of your weapons in a selection menu. These are called ideas. This is where, or I feel like I'm calling them ideas. That's what it looks like the opponent, like the character literally had a brain blast, so to speak. But this is where it got like really cool and very interesting mechanic. Your character would gain a new idea of an attack with that weapon and essentially learn a new move during combat. Once you see that light bulb appear next to the weapon, you have to keep using that skill until you notice the light bulb getting brighter and brighter and brighter, and which will randomly proc the character to learn the new skill mid-fight. And I had some pretty cool moments when it did happen. I was like, oh shit, that's cool as hell. I honestly thought this was one of the coolest shit I've ever seen ever, bro. Like, each encounter I ran into made me happy just so I could see what I'll learn next. Now, this is a turn-based game with formations for battle, which does have its benefits. Other than the new skill learning, plus the techniques, you also get the overdrive meter. Now, this is an ultimate team attack that you can use once it is filled, and you must exploit your enemy's weaknesses in order to fill it up. Every time you attack the enemy with their weapon or skill they are weak to, the meter will increase, and it will continue going on. And when it finally gets full, you do a team attack, which I did kind of mess around with the team attacks and basically combining the set of skills from two of the particular party members to do some absolute stupid amounts of damage. The combat is so fun. The use of all the weapons, like, it feels like it is turn-based in a full-on action game, depending on how you look at it. It's just like using different weapons to do new techniques, which is just quite awesome to me overall. This is pretty much it for the combat portion that was in the demo. I had so much fun just fighting the different groups of enemies during my time in the dungeon areas, which actually segues this entire conversation into the overworld, or the traveling bits of the demo. When I was not causing the absolute amount of havoc on my enemies of the world, we're exploring the Kingdom of Avalon, and as well as you could fast travel to and from Avalon into the dungeon areas in the game. You get this nice little map that appears, you just hover over the given area, and then boom, you basically go through a loading screen and you're at that dungeon. And which does play really great because you do not actually have to walk there or deal with random encounters on your journey. It's very straightforward, and honestly, I really do like that the devs did that. It saves on time and gets player right into the story instead of traveling for a quarter of your playthrough with the meaningless random encounters for XP farming, since this game does not actually have XP. and it's just based on what your weapons and skills you utilize in combat that gets upgraded over time. While traveling through the dungeons, you will come across the different enemies, and a couple of things can happen. If you sneak behind them, you get to do a surprise attack, which would deal the damage to the enemies and cause them to lose a turn. If the enemy catches you off guard, though, they get an extra turn breaking your formation. Now, towards the end of the demo, you will learn the inheritance mechanic, which, by God, this made me so upset, which is basically choosing someone to inherit the throne and gain all knowledge of the previous owner. I will say this part absolutely broke me. It broke me down, man, because in the span of the 2 hours, I really did get connected to, got attached to King Leon and Gerard. And it was slightly bit of the older brother, but it was mainly just Leon and Gerard. I was like, God damn it. And once you learn when everything plays out, you understand the inheritance part of that. Moving on over to the visuals and sound design. I also love this in this demo due to this being in a remake from the Super Famicom. 2 pixel sprites of the original game are now completely remodeled in full 3D while retaining their charming, familiar appearances based on the overall beautiful concept illustrations by Tomomi Kobayashi. I will say these visuals heavily reminded me of Visions of Mana since, and don't shoot me in the comment section, but that is my current JRPG that I am playing right now. So when I'm just kind of like going to and from Visions of Mana as well as Romancing SaGa, I actually was like, oh, that looks very similar. But overall, it is going to have that timeless visual. So like it will definitely age over the years and it will still look good. And I feel like it will look good as years to come. And also you will, during your travel in the kingdom, all the towns and dungeons are now completely fully rendered and has been reworked with different environment layouts and terrains, and it just overall it just looked beautiful every area I went. Another thing to add to the overall visuals is the music, which is absolutely fire, bro. I swear every JRPG just has certified bangers in each game, and Romancing SaGa 2 Remake is joining the squad thanks to Kenji Ito, who is the composer for the original Romancing SaGa 2. He does make a return in the remake to bless our ears with a beautiful medieval-like festive soundtrack. The music can be toggled between the original and as well as the new versions from the option screens. And also, speaking of the options menu, dog, tell me why the pause menu is probably the best pause menu I have seen in a long time. Seeing the entire crew just post it looking badass, bro. We look like we are about to make a rap album up in here, bro. My God. Also, all of the event scenes in Romancing SaGa 2 now feature full Japanese and English voice acting. And my God, the voice acting is absolutely fire, bro. In my opinion, it's pretty great. I like it. I love the emotion delivery that Gerard was making during the final moments of both his brother and father. Like I said, I damn near broke a tear for that. But for story purposes showcased in the 2-hour demo, the premise is a group of 7 warriors who were then dubbed the 7 heroes who saved the world from monster invasions, but basically vanished and have now become corrupted by dark powers after a millennia has passed and they began attacking the continent. Leon, who is the current ruler of Avalon, begins an entire campaign against the 7 heroes, which is passed down to his younger son, Gerard, after he dies. Then as time goes on, that's when that inheritance part comes in and you basically obtain more heirs. And you can name each ruler and then they inherit their abilities through a special spell. In the demo, we actually meet and lose to one of those legendary heroes to help further the plot. Trust me, when I get this game, I'm running my get back on Consensi for sure. After those 2 hours, I swear it had me absolutely hooked. I never got to play the original game, and this story and gameplay have me currently in a chokehold. So I need October 24th to get here now. But this demo has got me super hyped for the game, and the fact it drops in a month, I really needed it drop as of yesterday. I really did enjoy the 2 hours I spent in this game. I love when retro games get this massive overhaul and we're able to relive these stories from over the years. Overall, Romancing SaGa 2 is a complex and as well as rewarding RPG that offers a unique blend of storytelling, exploration, and as well as strategy. It is nonlinear RPG gameplay, and it focuses mainly on the player's choices to make it pretty much stand out in the overall genre. Romancing SaGa 2 allows you to explore the world at your own pace, make choices that shape the story overall. This is really good and got me rather addicted and wanted to see more from this game. But if you enjoyed today's preview, then I recommend checking out my recent Reynadas video. I'll have it in the top right hand corner and I'll have it in the card on the screen below. And as always, stay safe out there. It's been your host, KICTV, here at Chaotic Inc., signing out. Peace.